Case today?
Yeah. It's for audio sync. Okay. So, let's see. I have all my tickets open. Live dashboard, Twitch live. All right. Okay. Let's see. Live yet? Live yet? People there? People there? Here we go. So today I've made it. We got an LG cell phone in for repair, and I got to figure out which one of these damn buttons I put it on. So today we got an LG VX9200M cell phone for repair. For those of you who are not aware of this phone, let's just show it to you on screen. This is a top-of-the-line phone. I can totally understand why somebody would want to make this phone great again. So I'm gonna... yeah, here we go. Check out this amazing phone. Look at this. Look at this. This is some top-of-the-line shit right here. Oh, it's got a camera. It's got a little screen. But when you open it up, it has a big screen as well. Come on, show me the... Holy crap, look at that. It opens up, and it unfolds to show you the wide screen. Come on, show me that wide screen. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that sexy beast. Look at this phone. This is something. S9, eat your heart out. So today we've got that phone, and we are going to be trying to make it work again for data recovery. I said that this is probably not something that we would be able to do, but somebody in live chat decided to keep asking until we caved and said yes. And I could not get Paul to work on this for the life of me until I said that if you make this work on stream, I will buy you the same bike that I have with the same motor, which is somewhere around $1,800. But this may make for a good stream. So here I'm going to turn you over to my assistant Paul, and let's take a look at what he's got going on. So what do you have on the screen there, Paul?
This is the main logic board of this phone.
And main logic board. It's a logic board. See that?
Here's the NAND chip. This is what is holding hostage all of that lovely data that that customer wants.
This is obviously for data recovery because there's no way in hell that we're fixing this for any other reason.
There's that blazing fast Qualcomm processor from 2006.
Blazing fast.
There's that super high resolution 3 megapixel camera.
3 megapixel camera. Wow. You used to have to buy a camera with a floppy disk to get that.
With a flash. That was unheard of back then.
I got a Schwinn searcher, David Boyd. Schwinn searcher. Wait, this had a flash?
This had a flash?
Dude, the iPhone didn't have a flash in the beginning.
This was way ahead of its time, huh?
Whoa.
My favorite part, on the other side of the main logic board, is the keyboard board. And it has the little metal dome clicky switches. I miss these so much.
I used to type with my fingernails. What I hated about those keyboards, Triple RR donated $5. Thank you very much. That's going to go towards the $1,800 bike I have to buy Paul if he wins this bet and recovers the phone. I'm not kidding. And we're definitely not charging the customer enough to make this a worthwhile bet. But the thing about those keyboards that I didn't like is there was absolutely no liquid resistance. It's not like you spill something on it, but let's say it rains a little outside and you start typing, it just, the phone, my BlackBerry had those switches and they would fry. But maybe this phone's better.
This one does look, it's kind of sealed under a whole clear panel. But yeah, if water gets underneath these domes, they're done. But there's nothing better than the feel of these clicky domes.
You like typing on the keyboard by clicking?
Yes. I miss being able to, like, when you could rub your fingers over the keyboard to find the keys instead of, you know, on a screen. You
I like voice to text.
Well, yeah, that's new.
But...
So what could possibly be wrong with this phone? So let's start with a known good phone. And let's just get. We have no schematics. There's no information about this phone anywhere. So let's do a little bit of getting to know this thing first. Oh, I don't have a. I need an amp meter. So I'm going to plug in a USB amp meter to a USB charger so we can see what this phone takes on boot up. So this is a good phone. This guy sent in a couple phones for us.
He sent in 3 phones. I could type at the phone under my desk in class, not even looking. Yeah, memories. I guess there's no voice to text in high school.
Okay, so we have a good working phone here with no battery in it.
I hope Paul wins the bet. 828B. 10. Yep. I'm a man of my word. If he gets data off of this, I'm getting him the same motorbike I have. Schwinn starter, 1000-watt Bafang motor, 17.5 amp hour battery. But the one part that he wasn't aware of is that he was agreeing to riding it to work at least once.
All the way. I'll take
Just
train
once.
and then ride.
Just once. I want to see you ride it over the bridge.
Oh,
I'll go with you. Oh.
Okay. 27 miles to Jersey. Okay, I plug it in, and I'm showing. I got a light on the screen. I got Verizon logo on the screen.
You have a light in the charger?
Are you actually
and I'm
Yes.
0.02 amps, so 20
Did you answer all the tickets, Alex?
20 milliamps without a battery.
You know the touch ID, right?
Refer
And
to
it's telling
Jessica.
me I need a battery on the screen, but I have a screen, I have a boot.
If you want to pay like
It's on.
$70.
This is the
Tell him to just refer him to Jessica.
donor one, the good one. So now let's.
Go to iPad, we have time today.
I'm putting the data recovery board into a case.
I'm thinking of getting an overhead camera for Paul's desk as well. It's not fair that I'm the only one with the overhead camera.
Now if I plug this one in, so I'm not getting any boot. And it's taking 1.75 amps. That's not good. I'm at 5 volts, 1.75 amps. So that is definitely different here, and it's doing something it should not. So we have to have a short on this board somewhere. So let's put it underneath our thermal cam and see if we can find a short.
Since this is a network thermal camera, I can actually make it show up on my computer as well, which is cool.
I have to switch back to my computer view.
I got to get a better HDMI switcher for you as well as a camera. Okay, almost got the thermal cam on the stream. Here we go.
Thermal cam on stream?
So the thermal cam. So this, which board is this? Is this the donor one or the?
This is the data recovery board.
Okay, this is the data recovery board. So let's see what it is we need to do here.
So we plug that data recovery board in. Look at that. We got 2 shorts on the board.
Oh, that's dude. Wait, do you see the temperature on that? Plug that back in. Look at what the temperature says on the screen. 90C.
It's covered over here. I can't see it.
Oh.
That's 90C
Yeah,
on that.
put your mouse pointer over it and plug it in. So there's a piece there that goes up to 80 Celsius.
I have 130.
I have what? How does that 130 Celsius? Yeah.
So yeah, that MOSFET is
see.
definitely bad, and something up here in this corner is bad as well.
Now the tricky thing is that that's right next to the NAND, and every time you heat the NAND, you're more and more likely to kill it, and that's your only shot at the data, which is why there's no way in hell I'm touching this, and I'm leaving it to the precision of a man like Paul, because I would.
So
Paul's precision is unmatched.
first thing, let's get this off of here and see if it clears the short.
That went to 130 Celsius in under 2 seconds.
Yes, it did.
I've never seen. Have you ever seen a short that hot in a MacBook before?
No.
Because that's the thing.
Not that quick either.
Yeah, on a MacBook, the boards have all that heat dissipating capability
All
and
that
absorption
huge
capability.
ground plane.
Yeah, on these boards, they're really small, and they probably don't have that. So if a chip has a short, it just burns right through everything. So what's the next step here?
I'm going to remove the MOSFETs.
Okay, now can you point with the tweezers to the offending one?
That's this big guy right here.
Okay, so that's the thing that was hitting 130 degrees. Now, is there anything by it, like a solder ball or something, or a burn mark that would allow you to tell with the plain eye without the thermal camera that was the offender?
Sure doesn't look like it. There's no hole in it, no nothing.
Interesting. Can you touch it with your finger and plug it in?
No. I will have that model number scorched into my finger.
I get 130 Celsius. Wait, can you imagine if we were using the Jessa method of finding a short?
Put it on your lip?
Yeah, put it on
Oh
your
my
lip.
God.
Or put it on your face. You would have a new birthmark.
So we'll use 1 Paul amount of flux.
But wait, that's not enough flux. That's entirely insufficient.
And you want to point your air away from the sensitive NAND and away from the battery connector. We don't want to ruin that. Ooh, it's welded to the board.
Oh, it came off. Was there a connector above it that got a little...
Yeah, the battery connector got a little singe there.
Nah, who cares? Were you able to do that quick enough that the NAND didn't have to be shielded?
That NAND is not hot.
Oh.
My finger's right on it now.
Either that or you have 5 layers of dead skin on your finger.
That could be too,
But yeah, so that's some precision. What size is the nozzle that you're using to get that off?
6 millimeter.
6 millimeters, so that's
JBC.
nice precision. That JBC is a nice precision station. But $1,800.
Okay, I want to know a little bit more about this board, so let's find which pad on here was ground. Take my multimeter, I'm going to use it in just beep mode. Let's put one on ground, let's see what...
This is the flip phone,
ground.
high voltage.
That's not ground. This was ground, yes, this is ground. So that's ground, not... Okay. Now let's see what this board takes when we plug it in now. Put it back in a case. Think we could be lucky and that MOSFET's not needed for it to boot? I doubt it.
It could just be for the camera flash or something.
That'd be awesome if it is. Okay, let's plug it back in and see what my USB amp meter tells me it's drawn. 0 amps. So that's probably the main power MOSFET because it's not taking the 20 milliamps to boot. Okay, let's look at the other corner here where I saw a short too. Oh, look at that. Could that be some corrosion right here? This is a liquid damage phone. And I see some corrosion right here.
Is that corrosion or just... yeah, that is corrosion. I thought that it was just some scraping off of the PCB.
And I think to be safe, I'm just going to windshield wiper this whole little corner and just replace everything.
We do have 2 known workings, so... Paul doing board repair without schematic. Indeed. Please ask Paul how long it took him to make his own software. Paul, how long did it take you to make Open Board View?
Oh wow, that must have been a whole millennia or something for me to transpose into an Australian guy. Isn't that one of the uncertainty principles where if I sit here long enough I can materialize as an Australian person?
Was this camera mini or micro HDMI?
Micro.
Micro, alright. I gotta get a long cable and
Okay, what is this connector? Let's get rid of this connector. Don't want to burn that. Oh, that's for the camera. Camera flash. Out of here. Out of here, I said. Let's get that awesome 3 megapixel camera out of here. Out, I say. Okay, turn it around. Fold this button bar to the other side so I don't burn it. And I'm just going to take everything off in this corner. Let me switch over to my microscope because I'm probably out of focus for you.
Oh God, Alex is helping a customer.
I'm terribly out of focus for you. There you go. Okay, so this whole corner right here. Something over here was getting hot, and I didn't want to keep it on long enough to figure it out because that MOSFET was really heating up. So it could be this. This looks a little discolored. It might be that. It might be that. So I'm just going to take everything off in this corner right here. Then maybe we could do a little bit of testing, though. Let's see if something's shorted. I don't know if this is a... This could be a coil. By the color of it, could be a coil. Could be a capacitor. That is dead shorted. What is this one? Okay, that's supposed to be a capacitor, I guess. By the coloring, it might be a coil, but no. This one's open, so that's probably a capacitor. So this capacitor is a dead short. Let's check that on our donor board. I keep forgetting we have a nice donor board. So here, open, here, look at that, open line. This is a capacitor.
Is that capacitor a different color on the good board?
Yes, it looks kind of burnt.
Yeah, that's an entirely different shade.
So that is what's coming off. I don't have to windshield wiper it. I'm just going to remove that. Well, I should probably remove whatever transistor that is above it too, because if that's shorted to ground, that transistor could have gone too. I'll take both. I need a weight on the device.
Does that CKey have picture-in-picture?
I think it does.
Because if it does, then we can make the microscope show up along with your computer.
That would
if I
be
get a splitter.
awesome. Now, I have another cable here that's going straight to HDMI 3, so if
I
could
could get an HDMI splitter for the microscope camera. If that is picture-in-picture, that would be sick.
There's no button on this remote for it, though. Does that one have picture-in-picture?
I'm not... This doesn't even have a remote.
You do have a remote.
This does a remote?
Yeah, it's in this cubby over here.
Set up. Oh, it does a PIP. PIP. Yeah, it has PIP. Damn, Seek.
That would be awesome if I had picture-in-picture. No, I don't think this one has picture-in-picture.
Nah. Alright, for later. What I'm trying, for those watching, I want to take this YouTube setup to the next level. Like, I want to have it so that his computer has an HDMI split output so that I can see it on my capture machine. If he wants to show a schematic, it'll show up. His computer schematic will show up on my capture card. A microscope HDMI splitter so that whatever you're seeing can also be seen on my machine, but also be seen on his TV in picture-in-picture mode so that he can see if things are in focus, and an overhead cam. This is... Are you going to call easy repair on this? Let's see. It depends if he puts the right amount of flux.
Is that the right amount of flux?
No.
For 2 components?
I don't think so.
Not even removing one. This is 2 components.
That does not look like the proper amount of flux.
forgot to take the flash and camera off of the donor board.
They don't make a 50-foot micro HDMI cable? Hmm.
We're gonna wind up doing HDMI over Ethernet or something.
What's the challenge here? You have a known good board and a thermal camera to detect shorts. Challenge here is fixing it, mofo.
Who is that? Chris Long?
No, some
That's
troll.
like the only person that would have the right to say something like that.
Some troll. Let's see. Check if still shorted before soldering, Paul, says A28B. Of course he's going to check before he puts the capacitor on if it's still shorted. What do you take us for? Idiots?
No short, no beep, open line. So no, it is not the diode that is shorted. If it still beeped, then that would have been the diode that was shorted. Ah, man, it turned.
"40 feet should be enough to go from an overhead camera to my capture setup."
I would think.
Loving Paul's work from a convict in Australia, says Trady Trev. He donated a $5. Ass. Someone says Lewis could save a fortune in Branson if he used less flux. What?
Oh, that was way out of focus, I'm sorry. Okay, so that takes care of that corner. Now we got the MOSFET over here. Let's prepare its pads by adding some leaded solder. A little bit of flux. You'll want to solder her dry.
Is he doing something dumb?
iPad rehabbing it up in here. I don't have the filter on. Okay, there's way too much solder on those middle pads there. So let's get a little bit of goot wick. Beep you. Beep. Nah, I took too much off. And then I'll put too much on, then I'll take too much off, then I'll put too much on. There. That looks good.
You have to
Now I'm going to turn the board so I'm blowing the air in the right direction away from my NAND.
Copaz is killing me.
Let's take the donor one off. A little bit of flux on the donor. Okay. Heat from a very steep angle away from that NAND.
Looks good.
Okay. Give it a little bit of alcohol, cool it off.
How is a Monoprice branded device cheaper on Amazon than it is on monoprice.com? That makes no sense to me.
Marketing. Amazon wants to take over the world.
Okay, I got the...
Okay, that looks good. Now let's plug it in and see if we have any life. I don't trust things from back then. I'm going to plug the camera and the flash back in case it gives me some kind of crazy error because the camera's not detected. Okay, it is in our case. I'm going to plug it in, watching the amperage that it draws. 0.02 amps. That's startup. I have an LG logo on the screen. What camera's on? Can you see this? You can't see this. I have an LG logo on the screen. It's going to tell me that it won't start because of a battery. Yeah, battery is required. So hopefully one of these batteries that he sent with this is good, and this thing is going to boot up, and hopefully the data is still there because it's been years since it was used, and the NAND may have just discharged itself to oblivion. This thing just started.
Can you do it again with this camera angle? Whatever you just said, so for the edited video.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so just like rewind 20 seconds.
So now I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna watch my power meter here, my USB power meter, and see what it draws. And it's drawing 0.02 amps. That's startup voltage. That's startup amperage. Look at that. Got an LG logo on the screen. Now it's gonna warn me that battery is required, is going to error out. But hopefully yep, battery is required. But it's starting. So
Okay.
hopefully the data is still there. We will plug in a battery to this and see if we can get the thing to start up and connect to a computer. And then I think I'm going to have to locate some LG software from way back when or something, because I doubt this is going to just open as a USB drive and let me download pictures from it. Phones back then didn't do such things. You had to download the LG proprietary software to communicate with your phone. So I have the back case back on, so it will hold the battery in. Let's put the battery in here. Okay, plug it back in, see what happens. Now, I've never plugged one in with a battery before, so let's see what... It's taking 0 amps, so I guess it's starting off of battery. There you go, 0.2 amps. 0.36 amps, so it's charging battery. Battery is required. It doesn't like this battery. But it's taking 0.34 amps. It's running off of battery. Maybe if I just let it charge for a bit. Maybe I should plug a battery into one of the known good ones and let it charge for a bit. Yeah, battery is required. Okay, let me take one of the known good ones and see if I can get it to give me a good on one of these batteries. Okay, this is a donor phone. I got a Verizon logo. I got a battery plugged into it. It's taking 300 milliamps. Battery charging. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let this donor phone charge the battery for a bit. Until the donor phone boots. Once the battery's charged enough for this donor phone to boot, then I'll plug it into the data phone and see if I get this thing to turn on.
Now, is this phone locked, or how do you get? Is there a passcode or something, or does it just log you right in?
I don't know.
Oh, you got to charge it a little first.
Well, I'm letting a battery charge in one of the donor phones before I plug it into there.
Yeah, yeah.
Text for reinstalling the OS?
No.
No. Yeah, that.
No.
So that thing's fine.
No, no, go. Somebody said I bet it's a picture of a key to a Bitcoin wallet. There was no Bitcoin when this came out.
But I don't know, when did he finally stop using it?
I'm not sure, but there's not going to be a Bitcoin wallet on this piece of shit. What operating system does this run?
Symbian? No. Would this be BlackBerry OS, or it's probably its proprietary?
It can't be
shit?
BlackBerry OS because that would be for a BlackBerry. This is going to be some proprietary garbage.
It might be Symbian. That went around with a bunch of people back then.
Let's see what people think. The mere fact that it shows an LG logo shows it's actually talking to the chips. The phone is basically good.
Yeah, I just need it to charge a battery and start up.
Alright. So let's see. What would I need? I need an overhead camera thingy mount. I need 2 of these monoprice HDMI splitters. Did you recover it? Did you mute yourself to sing that?
No,
Oh.
my girlfriend's up front chatting as me in the chat.
Aw. Let's see. I gotta see what she typed. Okay, 1 wall mount for camera, 1 swivelly thingy. The most painful part of this is the actual HDMI capture card.
Oh yeah, that card's expensive. You have another bay in your
Yeah, I have another bay.
Okay.
Wait, is that a PCI or PCI Express? Yeah, it's PCI Express.
I was looking to do your whole setup here on a laptop using Thunderbolt. So I was going to get one of the Thunderbolt enclosures, put your capture card into that, so then I have a 4 HDMI input.
Reason why her files are like access denied. Oh, they're taken.
Okay, the recovery phone says battery
Did you transfer this
charging.
data or somebody else?
I
So
didn't.
Okay, so
do
it
I
should
have
work.
to turn it on now?
Oh.
Yeah, Steve just did it like.
Oh, it's giving me the TELUS logo.
Oh.
Enter phone lock code.
Okay, look, wait, read the note that the dude sent, see if there's a lock code. If there's no lock code, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
Out of me?
No, I mean the customer, because he said he wanted us to stream it.
The customer's a troll.
Customer's a fucking troll if they sent a 1-page letter and didn't include a passcode. You'd better have included a fucking passcode, dude.
We have our administrative assistant calling him for the lock code. It's not on the note.
Maybe everything can get the. There should be like another copy.
Write a page, a 1-page letter when you bring the phone and you don't send the fucking password. What the fuck? What? Who the fuck does that?
Oh, there you go. Oh god.
What? Huh. All right.
You have reached the cell phone of Microscopes.
You know what? That's another shop. He's going to have to get in contact with the customer.
You have reached the cell phone of Microscopes.
So this is another shop that we're doing this for, so he's going to have to get in contact with his customer to get the pin anyway.
Please simply state your callback number. Otherwise, your name, callback number, and a brief message. And
You would
I will
not
get
believe
back
how
to you.
often this happens,
Thank you.
that somebody sends a phone in here for data
Yeah.
recovery and they don't give us it.
Hi, this is Lewis from Rossman Repair. I'm just calling about the LG NV phone that you sent in with some of the donor phones. So the good news is that we did happen to fix it, and we are able to recover your data. And I saw on the letter that you wrote that you were looking for us to recover the data on stream. So I just wanted to say the happy news is that we're almost able to do that. The bad news is you didn't include the passcode, man. How am I supposed to finish the stream without the passcode? There's 400 people watching right now that want to see if we got the data, but we don't have the passcode. So if you could please call back and give us the passcode, that's 347-552-2258. That's 347-552-2258. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. Every fucking recovery. Every fucking recovery. This happens like half of the recoveries. This happens, and this is a Massachusetts area code, too. You can't trust people with, I'm telling you, you can't trust people with 617 area codes. You really can't. Like, if you see somebody with a 617 area code, just don't. Yeah?